first time since 2019, the FIM Supermoto World Championship is back in Poland with a Grand Prix at the Autodrom Słomczyn. Our circuit for this weekend is found in Mazovia, a historical region in central eastern Poland that's home to over 5 million residents. Mazovia boasts gorgeous natural landmarks and cultural attractions, and a visit to this region is certainly distinct from anywhere else in Poland. A subculture is evident through the area's architecture, its folk music, folk costumes, and traditions. Of course, within Mazovia, you find the nation's capital of Warsaw, as well as the historic capital of Prix. As much as 30% of Mazovia is dedicated to protecting green areas, including 177 nature reserves, 62 protected landscape areas, and over 4,000 natural monuments. Let's hope our riders get a chance to soak it all in. Someone soaking in a new team and a new bike this year, of course, is Elias Amarty.
I'm very happy about this new year for me. New bike, new team, new family, but the feeling is amazing. I'm very happy about and proud for my situation on the standing because I'm in third position. And in the whole GP, it's possible for me to fight for the win. In Polonia, in this new track, it's very nice. It's difficult on the asphalt because it's too much slippery, and very nice part of off-road because it's too much technical. But I think it's too much funny, and I try to my best for the GP. My goal about this year is try to fight for the win to all GP.
Another rider adapting to a new team, albeit a familiar bike, is Steve Bonnell for Team Undici.
I changed the team this year. I mean, with Undici due to my ex-team close, so we have a good team, but the same bike with TM. Thanks to a lot of TM for the support, and yeah, it's same teammate, two French teammates and Jan Ullmann, a Czech rider. So yeah, just a fun. Team is good. Bike also is great. I'm 5th in championship. It's not where I want to be, so I want to fight for the podium and close to be the first guy. So. But yeah, we work every GP, so we will see this weekend in Poland. The track is a little bit slippery, but it's good to ride, so see you this weekend.
You heard the word there, slippery. We've heard a lot of that in preparation for this weekend at Autodrom Słomczyn here in Poland. This will be a big challenge for our riders. 1.4 very challenging kilometers, which we can now get a look at with Jonas Nedved.
Hello everybody, welcome here in Poland before the next round of World Championship in Supermoto. For most of riders it's a new track, so let's have a look on the track and especially the funniest part. We are on the corner before the wave section. I really like the wave section because for me it's the most funniest part of the track. I really like the jumps and bumps, and also it's possible to overtake someone. So now we are on the first wave of the wave section. It's the most funniest part of the track for me because I really like the jumps, so it will be really fun to jump here and riding. So now we are in the corner after the waves. We have two possibilities to ride, inside line or outside line. For me, the outside line was much faster than in the afternoon. Now we are on the beginning on the longest right corner on the track. Especially here it is the weirdest part because it's so much slippery and dangerous, and everybody has some problems with the ground and issue. I am in the middle on the longest corner. I think there is so many lines because, for example, I rode a little bit inside line, but so many guys rode outside, so it's good possibilities to overtake someone before the finish line.
Let's get a closer look then on board with the 202. As you can see, they run wide there on the short main straight onto the rumble strips, and turn 2 and 3, an immediate pinch point. That switch back there, we continue to switch left to right to left, all the way into the sky section, which is very complex and also relatively low speed as well. A lot of them using a little bit of that grass there on the outside of the second berm. And then onto this concrete. It's a weird mix of concrete and dirt here. A lot of low grip surfaces for the riders to contend with, that much is for certain. Back onto the concrete now after this little jump. And you see picking up some speed on what is a very rough surface before coming on to the tarmac again. The tarmac can be a little bit low grip as well, but comparatively, I'm sure there's a lot more yield between the tarmac and the Metzler tyres. A little bit of a chance to finally stretch the legs before this section. And listen to the throttle here from Jonas Nedved. Having to wait, and then finally getting a chance to momentarily use the throttle before going into the final couple of corners. This is a very tight, very complex circuit. Not many chances to open up the taps. It's race 1 of the weekend, and Elias Sammartin is on pole with Schmidt and Shire alongside him. Sitniansky, Zalai and Avia Cortez on row 2 of the grid. Steve Bonnell, Roman Kivers and Jonas Nedved on row 3. Row 4 is Perna, Pravasnik and Ullman. Red lights on, red lights off. We're underway and racing in Poland, and it's a good start from Shire, but Sammartin leads the way. Sitniansky up to 3rd place. Oh, but there goes Mark Reiner Schmidt going for the dive to get back into the podium positions in the early stages. Sitniansky, though, did get a lightning start. Shire in 2nd place. Sammartin disappearing up the road. Oh, what a mighty launch out of the hairpin there from Mark Reiner Schmidt. He gets himself up into 2nd position then. Shire may be struggling a little bit in the early stages. And there goes Milan Sitniansky as well. So yeah, Shire seemingly not quite on the pace, especially on initial throttle application. Sitniansky up to 3rd position then. 3 of the top 4 are Hondas. The Honda Red Moto Gaza racing machine at the front. Then it's the TM of Mark Reiner Schmidt. Of course, Schmidt and Sammartin used to be teammates, going back to the Phoenix Honda days as well. Have shared an awning a lot over the years. Now they're going head-to-head on different brands, machinery, and Schmidt has gotten through. Mark Reiner Schmidt then is the new leader, having fallen to 4th early on. Can he do his specialty from here, clear off up the road? That's what we've seen him do so many times. I believe that's Jonas Nedved there, just ahead of Steve Bonnell in the battle for 6th place. Bonnell to the inside at turn 1, gets it done. However, Jonas Nedved had the run out of the corner, retains 6th position for the time being up against Steve Bonnell. Great racing between those two. Despite the relative narrowness of this circuit, it must be said there are overtaking opportunities to be had. We're expecting great racing, and it looks as though Sammartin is under pressure. Oh, and he gets out of the seat there. Sitniansky through into 2nd place. I think Shire followed him through as well. Sammartin with a lot of company there. There's no room for error, and unfortunately he did make a small one. I think Avia Cortez has gotten through into 4th place there as well by the looks of it. Schmidt, though, disappearing up the road. Sitniansky there in 2nd place with Shire following him close. Avia Cortez, of course, on the MTR KTM. His first full season in the FIM Supermoto World Championship. Has been an impressive rookie thus far this season. Sitnianski, certainly not a rookie to this championship, having a very good run at the moment on his Honda from the TMS tuning stable. Jair, of course, running for SGR Grau Racing, just behind him at the moment, shadowing the Czech rider in this battle for second position as they re-enter the dirt section once again. Schmidt continuing to clear off at the front. Sitnianski onto the concrete, have to be so careful there. Oh, and that's an example of why Sitnianski, the rear very nearly dropped from underneath him there. He did very well to save that, did Milan Sitnianski. But Thomas Jair is up into second position as a result. Onto the tarmac goes the Frenchman. Still in the midst of this title battle, of course, with Marc Reiner-Schmidt. That said, a poor weekend for one or both of these two would bring the likes of San Martin and Avia Cortez back up into the championship standings. By no means is it a guaranteed two-horse race at this stage. Marc Reiner-Schmidt well clear of everybody else, though. Looks to be in control. Bonnell still fighting it out with Jonas Nedved on the 202. This time, that's a definitive lunge to the inside. Nicely executed by the rider of the number 3. Schmidt with the red plate, defending and reigning champion. Has had another one of his signature races. A little bit of adversity to overcome in the early stages, coming up from initially 4th place at turn 1. But oftentimes, if he takes the lead, he wins, and that's the case again in race 1 of the Polish Grand Prix.
Yeah, for me, it's just the second time here in the World Championship this year. So I couldn't think about better result for me. It's just perfect. I had a good start. Then I was able to pass Thomas in the long right corner. Then in a few laps I made a mistake. Thomas passed me back, and then he went away. So I just tried to keep my 3rd position.
Marc Reiner-Schmidt then is our winner in the first race of the weekend. Thomas Jair ahead of Milan Sitnianski, who sounds very happy with his performance. Julien Avia Cortez in 4th place. Steve Bonnell rounding out the top 5 after a very exciting start to the weekend. Sunday in Swanshin then, and a lot of fans here to see the FIM Supermoto World Championship back on their turf for the first time in many years. We're just an hour south of Warsaw here, in fact a little bit less than that, so a lot of fans have made the trip south to see the action. It's time for the fast race, and who gets the best launch this time around? San Martin looking strong again. This time, though, it's Jair a little bit better. He takes the early lead. Thomas Jair, the Frenchman, at the front. Marc Reiner-Schmidt in 3rd position. Behind him, Avia Cortez. Good launch once again from Thomas Jair. Onto the concrete he goes for the first time in this race. And look at that, Marc Reiner-Schmidt right on the back of him. Schmidt has gotten past San Martin already, and now he challenges for the lead. He gets into the lead. Marc Reiner-Schmidt at the front then. Let's see if Jair can respond. TM versus Honda. Champion versus champion, and San Martin goes down. Elias San Martin on the first lap of the race. Oh, he's had such a strong weekend up until this point, but Sunday morning, and the lack of grip has bit the Italian. Jair keeping with Marc Reiner-Schmidt. Krasnicki going very wide there. In fact, no, that was Pernas, sorry, going very wide. Nicky Reimer, the American, involved in that one as well. Great to see the 141 bike out there. But it's It's Thomas Schayer pursuing Mark Reiner-Schmidt at the front of the order. Via Cortez now in third, of course, because of San Martin's fall. And the final turn, fairly high-speed corner. Hopefully San Martin was okay. To the dirt they go once again. A couple more bike lengths this time around between Schmidt in the front and Schayer behind, but it's still very close. This could go either way. Schayer looks strong on Sunday here. Here comes Schmidt through the chicane. Oh, and a bit of a slide there. The rear still being cleaned there on the tarmac after that run through the dirt and the concrete. Right on board with Steve Bonnell in 7th position. And he's slow, and I think he might have a tyre down. Steve Bonnell is limping the number 3 bike. This is huge for him, of course, because the fast race defines the grid for the super final, so he's going to have a lot of work to do on the rest of his Sunday. Mark Reiner-Schmidt, meanwhile, disappearing up the road, but look at Bonnell, 14th already. He's not even in the pit lane, just getting into the pits now. Has gone down, and look at Schayer still there on the back of Schmidt. In fact, I think he's closing a little bit on Schmidt. We see a Via Cortez there in 3rd position as well. He's going to move up a couple of spots in the Grand Prix standings, I think. Schayer has not lost much ground at all to the number 1. Of course, 8-time world champion Thomas Schayer would love to get a 9th this time around. He's just shadowing the rear of Mark Reiner-Schmidt for now. Not got many more laps to try and make an attack. Schmidt maybe just slightly extending again. Oh, but he's off! Mark Reiner-Schmidt is off! A big fall! And that looks like a tyre down. He looked there at the rear wheel. Mark Reiner-Schmidt, I think, lost a tyre. Yes, he did. Look at that. A flat tyre for Mark Reiner-Schmidt. The concrete is rough here. I wonder if that's what's cut the tyre on both he and Steve Bonnell. I don't know. But Thomas Schayer is the leader. Via Cortez going at it now with Sitniansky. This is, of course, for 2nd position. A great scramble between the two. Now for 2nd place. An inherited 2nd place. Looking over the shoulder there was a Via Cortez. Is he gone? The answer is no. Thomas Schayer all on his own, though, and will take the fast race victory in unexpected circumstances. Well, a win for Schayer. 2nd place to Sitniansky, Via Cortez 3rd, Tim Zalai with a strong 4th place ahead of Pravaznik, Kivers, Nedved, Gomez, Krasnicki and Pernin. Both Bonnell and Schmidt outside the top 10.
Yeah, I take the whole shot. I pushed, but Mark passed me in the first lap. I learned a lot behind him, and I struggled a lot after the middle of the race. And he crashed, so it was more easy for me, and I'm very happy to take this win.
A victory then for Schayer. 47 points in the Grand Prix. Sitniansky and Via Cortez now sitting 2nd and 3rd ahead of Schmidt and Roman Kivers. A shake-up in the order. Super final time. It's Thomas Schayer on pole, Sitniansky and Via Cortez behind. Row 2 is Zalai, Pravaznik and Kivers. Row 3, Nedved, Gomez and Krasnicki. And the 4th row, Pernin, Nicky Reimer and Saranyi, the Hungarian racer, rounding out the dozen. We're underway for the final time in Swamshin, and it's a good start again from Schayer. He seems to have taken some whole shot lessons from Lucas Hurlbacher this weekend. Steve Bonnell already up to 9th position, but he's got a lot of work to do here. Somewhere in amongst the scrum of the midfield, they'll also find Mark Reiner Schmidt as well. Schmidt will be right towards the rear. In fact, there he is. We just got to look at him here. Riding on board with Bonnell. Schmidt, I think, already up into the top 10 then, so making quick work of it, but he's got a lot of work to do. Thomas Chaillere out front in the lead of the race. This is all lining up quite nicely for him. A small gap between himself and Schmidt in the championship, and a Grand Prix win here in Poland could do him a lot of favours. Steve Bonnell down to 14th position, so he's actually lost some ground. He's now fighting with Nicky Reimer. Gets through. 13th place for Bonnell. Knee down there up ahead of him. Get to see some of the unique styles and approaches to this circuit. I don't think anyone has a right answer for how exactly to tackle Swamshin. Fairly new proposition for these riders, but Chaillere is trying to build the gap, and Schmidt is down again! Mark Reiner Schmidt down again. No tyre issue by the looks of it, although he's lacking grip. He checks the tyre to see if it's down. You saw the graphic there, he was up in 5th position. I don't think he lost too much time, but the odds that were stacked against him are now even higher, and he gets through on Elias Samartin there. So Schmidt is on the offensive. He's moving up the order. Steve Bonnell, I think we saw there, making a place as well. But Mark Reiner Schmidt is having a very tricky Sunday. But he's now doing what he does best. He's pounding in the laps. He's pursuing to try and salvage a podium from this final race and get a strong score in the Grand Prix. Avia Cortez and Sitniansky fighting it out for 2nd position. Avia Cortez in a strong position, of course, in the Grand Prix, as is the Czech rider Sitniansky. But Chaillere is into the pits. Thomas Chaillere, the race leader, is into the pit lane. Not him too. It does seem as though another puncture. Yes, you see the tyre being prepared by the Grau Racing team, and that hands the lead of the race to Julian Avia Cortez. My goodness. The abrasive and low grip surface seems to be causing problems, and Chaillere rejoins the race in 15th place, and now we see the top two, Cortez, Sitniansky, and behind them and closing is Mark Reiner Schmidt. Can he close in? And sure enough, he can. Penultimate lap of the race, and he's into the race lead once again. Mark Reiner Schmidt has pulled something of a magic trick here in Poland, but it's not going to be enough as it stands. With Avia Cortez in 2nd place, it would still be the KTM rider on for the Grand Prix win, with Chaillere so far down the order. Mark Reiner Schmidt isn't quite going to do enough here. It'll be glory in the Super Final, but not in the GP of Poland for our reigning and defending champion. It's a good race. A great conclusion to a difficult weekend. Schmidt wins it from Avia Cortez and Samartin in the Super Final. Kuyvers and Zalai ahead of Steve Bonnell. Nicky Reimer with the top 10. A good result for him. But some dramas throughout the field in that race. Avia Cortez by 2 points takes his inaugural Grand Prix victory ahead of Schmidt, Chaillere, Kuyvers and Sitniansky. Well, Thomas Chaillere will be disappointed with how that Super Final went, but he's still well in contention for the championship. Mark Reiner Schmidt, of course, retaining that red plate that he covets. But what a moment for Julian Avia Cortez, a former junior champion. A rider that has appeared in S1GP prior to this year. This is his first full season. And he is tasting a lot of success with MTR, KTM, Jurek, Wodek, presenting the trophies. Jerome Cassin, the FIM delegate for this weekend, presenting the red plate, though, to Mark Reiner Schmidt. At one time, he might have felt that he wouldn't retain it because he has had a very tricky Sunday. But a victory for Juliana Villa-Cortez and celebrations.
I'm very happy for the weekend. This race is very complicated for me. I have most problems for the week, and I'm very happy for me. I'm very happy for Franco. Thank you for Franco and Anna. It's possible to thank for Franco, and I need water and shower.
He'll get his water, he'll get his shower, and he's third in the championship. Mark Reiner Schmidt still leading the points on 284, Shire on 269 in second place. Ahead of Cortez, San Martin and Kivers having an anonymous yet strong season in fifth place. Let's see what happens next. We go street fighting in St. Wendel, Germany in August.